Struggle, and I've always believed that the more the government got involved in farming, pricing, and at one time in the early '80s, they were paying farmers to move to corn, and they were paying them not to provide dairy. Again, everything seems to backfire when the government gets involved. If they would just let the industry go on its own, we probably would be okay. But one of the problems is the price of milk. On the line right now is a woman in the West Winfield area who says that her farm is in jeopardy of going out of business. They don't have any other choice, and her name is Robin Fitch. And Robin, is it milk prices? Is that what the problem is?
Yes, it absolutely is, and I want to thank you for shedding some light on this problem. This is an issue that's clear across our nation. Farmers are in serious trouble.
And I know plenty who have, and some have just completely left the business, maybe renting out their fields for people to grow things, and renting out their barns, all to be able to maintain and keep their property.
Right, that is a big issue. Unlike the car dealership, when they close their doors, they still have their home to go to. But so many of us, on farms, this is our home also. Our business and home are together. And like you said, so many of us are just trying to hang on to our homes, and that's kind of where we are right now. We're just trying to figure out if we can even save our home or if the whole thing has to go.
Do you have a modern? Is it a modern farm? Because there was a time it seemed that the government really wanted the small farm, which was really that's what farming was. It was small farm after small farm after small farm. But almost now it seems that the government wants the big mega farms, and the little guy, they want to kind of go by the wayside. Where do you fit in that spectrum?
We have we milk about 175 cows on an average.
Okay.
So we are still considered small. There's some that are smaller, of course, but you are 100% correct. They are leading towards they want mega farms.
Yeah.
They want them in certain areas only of the country. And when there is a national disaster, like all the cows that died last year over the winter, what's going to happen to our food supply?
All right, Jeff.
Forgive my ignorance on this. Can you explain this? You get a cost per ton or something like that for your milk, which actually doesn't cover how much per hundredweight, right? It doesn't cover how much it actually costs you to feed the cows and produce the milk. But then I think the government gives you a subsidy. Explain how this works and why it's not adding up for your business.
We do get paid per hundredweight of milk. What happened this year to us was we've taken a 45% pay cut. We have not cut our hours any. We have not cut our costs any, but we have taken a 45% pay cut.
Wow.
Right now we are being paid the same prices as back in 1998.
Wow.
Yes, but our costs to produce your milk have nearly doubled.
And are we seeing that reflected at the grocery store where the price of milk is low?
Prices to the consumer have not changed drastically.
Yeah.
For us to take that kind of a hit, you guys as the consumers should have also seen drastic drops in your milk prices.
No.
The market administrator sets the price for us to be paid. They go around and they collect their figures on what it costs to produce 100 pounds of milk in the country. On an average in the country, it's $22 per hundredweight. For us in New York State, the average is $28 a hundredweight. But yet, they're giving me a price of $14 a hundredweight for my milk. So to me, that seems like it should be illegal, that if they're telling me it costs $28 in New York, or at least $22 in the nation, how is it legal for them to set a price at $14 a hundred? It's a criminal act that's being done to the farmer.
Yeah. And it's probably going to somebody's pocket, administrative fees or mismanagement. Again, like I said, you remember when they were trying to get everybody to stop doing dairy and to plant corn, and they were paying farmers to get rid of their cows. Mm-hmm. I mean, that changed generations of farmers. It changed what they were doing, and in many cases, it destroyed them. They didn't have any place to go after that. Christine.
Right.
I was fortunate enough to be able to sit down with the Fitches several years ago and talk about the things that were going on in their farm, and they were kind enough to educate me about some of the stuff taking place in the dairy industry. And I will ask a question, but just wanted to say that the Fitch family epitomizes everything that you think is good about the American farm family, and it would be just a terrible injustice if this farm were to go away, not only for their family, but for our area, the Mohawk Valley. But Robin, if you could talk a little bit about co-ops, and we hear these things on TV about how great co-ops are and about how dairy farmers are a part of co-ops. Have you found that to be the case, that they're great for the dairy industry?
No, just the opposite, actually, Christine, and thank you for those kind words. No, we just had, in one of our publications, dairy publications, we just read that one of the biggest co-ops in America just made a profit this year of $94 million.
Wow.
So there again, who's keeping the money, because it's not going back to their farmers.
Wow. Well, there you go. There's welcome to corporate America.
Absolutely.
And farming, that's where farming has gone without you guys. I mean, you were kind of tricked into joining in on all of this. I mean, there was a time when it just worked. The system worked. And then again, you get the government involved. Andrew, go ahead.
I was able to go up to Sheriff Rob Mayshield's farm, and he doesn't have a dairy farm, but he talked to me a lot about other types of farmers and things that they're dealing with. And one of the things that he had said about dairy farmers is that, obviously the cost of milk hasn't really gone up for the consumers in the last few years, or like you say, what you're being paid for that. But, fuel has gone up for your tractors to cut the hay for the feeds, certain feeds that you have to deal with, and equipment. So I've got to imagine that for you, that's been a difficulty as well, that you've got all these expenses. And then to top it all off, if you have to sell your farm, you've probably, forgive me for asking this, but I'm sure you would still owe payments on tractors and equipment like that, correct?
That is correct. And that is definitely what we're weighing out right now.
Yeah, so you might even be upside down when it's all said and done.
But we're praying no, but you never know.
Right.
Robin, is there a subsidy? I mentioned that earlier, but I guess it was more of a question. Is there a subsidy that makes up the difference?
No. What the government has offered us in the new farm bill was that there is a margin insurance protection plan. It's kind of hard to think that you're going to have to buy insurance when there is no money to pay for insurance, first of all. And then it's the amount that you pay, it comes in increments, of course, and the amount that you pay, the little bit that you would ever get back is not nearly even a fraction of what you're losing. So really it was just an idiotic thought of the government to try to throw us a bone, to make us think that there was something they were giving us when there was nothing.
Right. I guess the part that I don't understand is, how is any dairy farm still operating if that's the case? If it costs $28 per hundredweight and you're only getting $14 per hundredweight, how is anybody ahead of that financially? I mean, Bill, if it cost us $25 a day to do the show and you and I were getting paid $10, we wouldn't do the show. I don't know how anybody is still surviving in New York. Robin?
Well, unfortunately, we have, a large opportunity with our animals and stuff. It's not easy for us to just walk away. So what you do is you ride out the waves, and, you hope that next year is going to get better, and you pay back some of that debt that you have accumulated over the bad years.
Hey, I've been in business before, and I've been there where you're looking at, boy, this year was rough, but you have hope and you're positive because you're gonna make sure the next year is better, and then at the end of next year you're doing the same thing all over again. It gets to be a tough cycle to live with.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, and
it used to be that the waves were a little spread apart a little more, and they weren't quite as drastic, but now they're coming faster and harder every time.
All right, I have two more questions. Yogurt, Chobani, the big Greek yogurt craze, has that helped you guys?
Well, of course, when somebody consumes more milk, it doesn't hurt us. It does help us no matter what. But has it put money back into the farmer's pockets? No. What the farmer needs is a new pricing system.
Okay, so again, this is the structure, this is the governmental involvement, and that's therein lies the issue. So, all right, what's your timeline? What do you think? How long before the Fitch farm has to be sold, and do you think you can possibly turn this around?
Well, I'm always praying for a miracle to happen. I'm hoping that a show like yours will get this information out, that there is a serious national issue here that needs to be addressed. And for us, I don't know, if you're going to pull that Band-Aid off, you want to pull it off as quick as you can because your kids are devastated, your family's devastated, so you have to do it as fast as you can.
Have you reached out to the congressman's office?
Funny you say that.
Yeah.
Yes, I have called the governor, I've called our senators, our congressmen, and pretty much if you can even get somebody to tell you who the ag aide is because they don't know who they are anymore, you can send them an email, but you can't speak to them anymore.
All right, well, this is what we're going to do. We're not just going to talk to you and let it go. We're going to see what we can do. So we'll reach out to Congressman Hanna. We'll get him on, and then we'll try to bring you on at the same time, and let's see if we can get something in motion here.
We would greatly appreciate that.
And by the way, we have a congressional candidate, Martin Babnick, who's going to be coming on next, and he's listening to this right now. So who knows? Maybe you're right. Maybe we can accomplish something here.
That would be great. We would really appreciate it.
This won't be the last time we talk. I promise you, Robin.
Thank you very much, and have a great day.
All right, thanks. Quick break. By the way, birthdays today. I want to say happy birthday to Dennis Hall, who is celebrated yesterday. And it comes from all of his family, and he gets the cake from the Florentine Pastry Shop on Bleecker Street in downtown Utica. Get a birthday on by going to our news site at WIBX950.com, or you can send it in on a postcard, WIBX 9418 River Road, Marcy 1340 what? 3. There we go. It's off the top of my head. I can't even believe it. It's back there somewhere, but it's covered. Got a break. Hold on tight. We're going to go right to Martin Babnick when we come right back here at WIBX.